The story opens with a soft voiceover of a young girl telling a fable. It's about a cheerful mouse living a peaceful life, until a crow warns him about the presence of darkness. This darkness, the crow says, is dangerous and can reach anyone, anywhere. It's a chilling metaphor that hints at the horror to come. At the same time, we're shown eerie glimpses of a lake house. A crashed car lies against a tree. Strange drawings were scattered all over the ground, and an axe dripping with blood rests nearby. Something terrible has happened here. This unsettling imagery cuts to a young girl named Kayla reading a creepy book called Darkness Hides. She and her family, her mom Laura and little sister Maddie, are heading to their lake house for a short vacation. Her dad, Shawn, was supposed to come too, but at the last minute, he's held up with work. Laura is visibly irritated, but Shawn promises to arrive by evening. Reassured, Laura loads up the car and sets off for the lake house with the girls. After a long drive, they reach a locked gate deep in the forest, the final path to their remote cabin. Laura struggles to open the rusty lock. Just then, a car pulls up behind them. A local man named Owen steps out and offers help. Owen seems polite, but a bit off. He helps unlock the gate, then notices the kids and asks if they're staying alone. Laura explains her husband will join them soon. Owen tells her that they're the only family who regularly visits this area, and he's never met them before because they usually come just once a year. Then, Owen casually mentions something disturbing. A family used to live in the same house years ago, but had to move out after their mentally unstable son, John, went missing in the woods when he was a child. This is the first time Laura hears this story. After their brief conversation, Owen heads back to his car and drives away. After Owen leaves, Laura and her daughters finally reach the lake house. Laura starts unpacking while Kayla and Maddie play nearby. Soon, Laura gets a call from Shawn, who says he'll arrive by 11 p.m. He's stopping to pick up some gifts for them. After the call, Laura leaves her phone in the car and gets back to her chores. Meanwhile, Kayla and Maddie play near the treehouse. That's when Kayla spots a red wool thread nearby. Curious, the two sisters follow it into the woods. The thread is tangled around several tree roots. At this point, we aren't shown where the girls go, but it clearly feels like a trap. Inside the house, Laura looks out the window and notices the girls are gone. Worried, she rushes outside, but the girls suddenly appear right at the door. They walk in calmly. Kayla quickly hides something in the closet, and when Laura asks, she says it's a surprise gift for Dad. Laura doesn't check it. She just hopes it's not some kind of animal, though it's clearly something else. That night, Laura reads a story to the girls from the book Darkness Hides. She notices the book already has drawings of 3 figures, so she asks Kayla if she drew them. Kayla says no. They were already there when she found the book at the lake house. Maddie isn't feeling well, saying she's sleepy, so Laura takes her upstairs to rest. Later, Laura steps out for a smoke, but then the landline phone rings. It's Shawn, asking why she's not answering her cell. Laura apologizes and tells him she left it in the car. Shawn says he'll be there in a few hours, but the call suddenly drops. As Laura walks back inside, she sees something moving in the woods. She gets suspicious, but brushes it off as her imagination and goes back into the house. After some rest, Laura accidentally dozes off. A while later, Kayla wakes her up. Maddie isn't feeling well. Alarmed, Laura rushes to her and finds Maddie vomiting. It looks like something is stuck in her throat. Laura helps her, and a small ribbon comes out. It has the word "hello" written on it. Laura gently asks if Maddie ate anything outside. The scene shifts to a flashback when the girls had followed the red thread into the woods. There, they had found a small table set for tea with 2 cupcakes. Thinking it was a tea party, they took the cupcakes. Maddie ate hers right there, and Kayla brought the other one home, which she had hidden in the closet earlier. Realizing what's happened, Laura races to retrieve the hidden cupcake. Inside, she finds another ribbon that reads, "Goodbye." That's when it becomes clear. The cupcakes were poisoned. Thankfully, Kayla hadn't eaten hers. Now, knowing her family is in danger, Laura grabs the landline to call the police, but the line is already cut. Moments later, they hear strange noises coming from the attic. It sounds like someone is up there. The girls are terrified. Laura tries to calm them, though she herself is rattled. She grabs a knife for protection and tells the girls to stay put while she runs out to get her phone from the car. But the phone is missing. Then she notices something wrapped in a paper on the back seat. When she opens it, she finds Maddie's doll, something that should have been inside the house. This means whoever is doing this has already been inside. Panicked, Laura runs back into the cabin and tells the girls, "We need to leave. Now." The three rush out to the car, but as they approach, someone throws something and smashes a window. Laura starts the car and drives, but they barely get far when the tires come off. The killer had removed the bolts, and the car crashes into a tree. Frightened and helpless, they rush back to the house and lock the door behind them. Maddie's allergies are getting worse, and Laura hurries to get her medicine from the bathroom. In the rush, the bottle slips from her hand, but she manages to save a couple of pills and gives them to Maddie. Suddenly, there's a knock on the window, as if someone is taping something outside. When Laura pulls back the curtain, she's horrified to see their family photo stuck to the glass, with everyone's face scratched out, except hers. Alarmed, she takes the girls upstairs. Maddie is still vomiting, and her condition worsens. Laura realizes hiding isn't enough anymore. They'll need to go outside and get help. Just then, Maddie looks out the window and says, "Dad's here." Laura quickly checks and sees a man standing in the dark, silently waving at them. But after a moment, he turns and walks away. That's when Laura understands. It's not Shawn. The girls, already frightened, keep asking when their dad will come. The scene shifts to Shawn, who has just reached the gate. He finds it locked, and a note made of red thread reads, "Follow me." Confused, he assumes it might be a surprise from Laura. He calls her, but instead of her voice, he hears breathing on the line. Following the thread deeper into the woods, he tries calling again. This time, he hears his own voice on the call. It's coming from nearby. He finds Laura's phone on a table, surrounded by 4 wooden mannequins and a tea set, like a twisted tea party. As he tries to make sense of it, a masked man silently appears behind him, holding an axe. The scene cuts away. Back at the cabin, Laura and the girls hear footsteps on the roof again. Then comes another knock at the door, sending the girls into a panic. Moments later, they hear Shawn's voice outside, calling for Laura. Relieved, they think he's finally arrived. Laura grabs a knife and cautiously opens the door, only to find a recorder hanging from a rope, playing Shawn's voice. Suddenly, Shawn's lifeless body falls from the roof, landing right in front of her. His eyes have been gouged out. Devastated, Laura breaks down, sobbing as she holds his body. The girls come out too, but Laura quickly ushers them back inside and tells them it's not their dad, trying to shield them from the trauma. This moment completely shatters Laura. Suddenly, the lights go out. Laura knows now they're not even safe inside the house. She grabs a flashlight and a knife and steps outside. In the yard, she sees the same wooden mannequins, now set up like a mock tea party, a woman hanging by a rope, and 2 children on swings. Before she can react, someone starts throwing dozens of eggs at them. Earlier that day, Laura had asked Shawn to bring eggs, which the killer is now throwing at them. Terrified, they all run back inside the house. there's nowhere else to hide. Laura quickly grabs furniture and blocks the door. That's when Kayla remembers. The mannequins outside look just like the drawings in the Darkness Hides book. Laura is shocked. It becomes clear the killer is following the story from the book, and one thing is certain: he isn't mentally stable. Suddenly, the killer throws a large mannequin through the window. Terrified, Laura and the girls scream and run upstairs. Laura breaks down crying, and her daughters hold her tightly. In that moment, Laura remembers. Shawn's car must still be nearby, and she might be able to find the keys. Gathering her courage, she goes downstairs to get them. With the keys in hand, Laura tells the girls they'll need to run to the car as fast as they can. But before they move, they hear another noise from downstairs. Laura shouts a warning, telling whoever it is to leave. Then they hear the sound of a car approaching. Laura looks out the window and sees Owen holding a flashlight and heading toward the house. He had seen Shawn's car parked outside and came to check. Laura tries to get his attention from the window, but he can't hear her. That's when she sees the killer creeping up behind him. Before she can warn him, the killer slams an axe into Owen's head, killing him instantly. It's a horrifying moment. Shaken, the three rush downstairs and find the book and Maddie's doll laid out on the table again. But this time, there are new drawings in the book. Laura realizes the killer had planned all of this, and his final goal is to kill them too. He may even believe he is the darkness from the story. Knowing it's too dangerous to stay, Laura and the girls run toward the door. But as soon as she opens it, the killer is standing there. He grabs Laura and drags her away. The girls scream, holding each other and crying. Now that their mother is gone too, they know they'll have to protect themselves. Determined, Kayla picks up a knife. A short while later, they hear music playing outside. Thinking it might be their father, they gather their courage and step out to look. There's no one, just a few gift boxes in the car. But then they hear a noise from the trunk. When they open it, they're shocked to find Laura tied up inside. Before they can untie her, the killer appears from behind and stabs Laura in the stomach with an axe. As he begins to chase the girls, they're forced to run back into the house. The girls hide under the bed, trembling. A few moments later, the killer enters the room and calmly sits on the bed above them. He speaks softly, saying, "It's normal to be afraid." He introduces himself as John. He explains that he grew up in this house, and now it becomes clear he's the same missing child Owen had told Laura about. Every year when families came to the lake house, he secretly watched them. He says he's always been here, but no one ever noticed. John also reveals that the book Darkness Hides, the one Kayla found, belongs to him. He wanted them to read it, to understand his story. "I am your darkness," he says, before flipping the bed and using chloroform to knock the girls unconscious. The next morning, we see the mannequins again. One of them now has Shawn's eyes and arms attached. John plans to finish his twisted tea party by adding the rest of the family's body parts to the figures. His plan is horrifying, and he has no intention of sparing the children. This was the same scene briefly shown at the start of the film. John removes the axe from Laura's body. She's still alive, but barely. He walks over to his setup, mannequins arranged for a tea party, surrounded by eerie silence. Next, he takes the unconscious girls into the woods and begins measuring their hands and eyes, preparing to use their parts for the final mannequins. Kayla wakes up, but stays still, unable to act while John is so close. She tries to wake Maddie, but she remains unconscious. Soon, John approaches with a mannequin's arm, ready to cut off Kayla's hand. But suddenly, he hears a music box playing nearby. Startled, he follows the sound to the car trunk, where it's playing loudly. But Laura is no longer there. She suddenly appears from behind and strikes his back with the axe. A violent struggle follows. Despite her injuries, Laura fights back fiercely and eventually hits him again with the axe. John collapses. Laura rushes to her daughters and helps them. The three run to the car. It starts. As they drive away, finally escaping the nightmare, Maddie turns to look back and sees that John's body is gone. He's still alive? And with this lingering suspense, the film comes to an end. John was a mentally unstable man who lived in or around the lake house whenever it was empty. He had been watching this family for years, possibly hiding in the nearby woods. By the end, there's no mystery left about who he really was, only the fear that he might return.